Welcome, everyone, to tonight's NSA Connect session. No apologies needed. We are so excited that you are all here joining us tonight. I want to just remind everyone of our ground rules for our NSA Connect sessions. Please remember to keep your microphones muted unless you are speaking. And when you are going to speak, whether you're going to ask a question or provide feedback, there are two ways to do that. You can raise your hand physically, or you can use the uh, electronic version of raising your hand down on the bottom. You can use the react symbol and you'll see the raise hand version. You can use that, and there's also a way to lower your hand as well. I'm recording the session, as you can see, so that folks that were unable to attend will still have the opportunity to view this incredibly wonderful session that we're going to be having tonight. But first, I want to have the opportunity for our facilitators to be able to introduce themselves, because you're in for a real treat tonight. So first, I would like Cora to introduce herself. Cora?
Hi. Thank you so much, Pam. Uh, we're so happy to be here. I'm Cora Campbell. I'm from Southern California. I'm a speech pathology assistant, and I've been a part of the NSA since to 2011.
And I am McKenzie Jemmett. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I work as a speech language pathologist with preschoolers. I've been a part of the NSA in some capacity on and off since about 2018. And we are so excited for this chat or connect session. Asked us to do this. We're kind of like, I don't know what that means, but sure, let's do it. So we're so excited that we have so many of you on here this evening. Since this is my first one leading, I'm just so happy that you guys came to hang out with us tonight because you could be doing a lot of other things. So we're glad you're here and we're excited to dive into our topic. So again, our topic for the evening is no apologies needed. So we're going to dive into maybe why people stutter, why we feel like we need to apologize, whether that's because of past experiences, something we're currently feeling in the moment, and then some ways that we can move forward with that journey and what feels authentic to us. Because again, like I tell my clients and my students, every person's journey is different, right? What makes sense to you may not make sense to someone else. So just allowing yourself to know what makes sense to you and what feels authentic and meaningful to you. So to get us started, I'm gonna ask a question, and then again use your raise hand feature, physical or the cool little AI hand. So, why do we, as people that stutter, feel the need to apologize for our stuttering? And actually, I remember Pam told me this and I forgot. I'm going to share an example first. Pam was like, I feel like I could see her eyes looking at me. So, one of the many examples that I thought of as we were kind of getting ready for this session, when I am around people that know that I stutter, right? My family, my friends, that I have been open and I'm not trying to hide my stutter, but even on days when I feel like I'm having a hard speaking day, when it seems like every other word I just cannot say, I even will say, "Man, I'm sorry, I'm having a really bad speaking day." And there have been times when I just do it automatically. I'm not consciously thinking, wow, they're really annoyed. I should apologize. The they don't care. Like, they haven't said to me, man, you should really talk faster. Like, they're people that I've been open with about my anxiety and my struggle with being authentic about my stutter. And so I have even found myself with people that know still feeling like I'm taking up space. Like, I don't, how I speak is a burden on them. And so I need to apologize for that. So that is just kind of some thoughts that I had as we were thinking about this topic. So if there's anyone else that has a thought they want to share, and it can be if you feel like you apologize when you're with family, with friends, ordering Starbucks, at the gym, whatever it is. I see a hand, Art Netta. Go for it.
Okay, I really didn't. I don't want to be the first other. Okay. Anyway, I have been really giving a lot of thought to this topic because at first when I saw it, I'm thinking apology. I mean, I've never really said I'm sorry. I had such a hard time getting that word out. I never really said that, but something happened recently, and I was talking to someone, and I got stuck on the word Arizona. No, because I said that pretty good, but I was on this, and it was nothing was coming out. So the person I'm speaking to said, one of those, type of things where people chime in the word, as you're struggling to get it out, they have chimed it in. Now there have been times in the past that I have said, "Oh yeah, right," yeah, and then going on. So I've let them go ahead, say the word for me, which is really, I feel, I can't think of, that, we just kind of gave up and let somebody else speak for us. But what happened this last time was that, I said, just let me have the opportunity to be able to say this word for myself. Now, that's what I have said now, not back then, but now I have said, let me just have the satisfaction of saying this for myself. Because, while you're in that block, you just feel like, let me just get through it, let me just see the end of this. And so I think it kind of uh, 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 offended the person who I was speaking to, but I was trying to explain, back in the day, yeah, I may have accepted that, for people to chime in words because I guess, I felt like they, it's kind of a rush, come on, come on. But now and then I just think of something I see that Carolina is on the line, and I think, McKenzie, you just said it too. That we take up space too. Why should we let people talk over us? And so, what I'm trying to say is that I feel like that's my way of not uh 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 uh, apologizing. I'm going to speak for myself because I feel like because I said to her, I am 69 years old. I can speak for myself. And so anyway, I'm not sure if that has to do with apologies per se, but that's how I kind of take it.
No, I love what you shared because I think it's a great example of how this idea of being ashamed of our stutter and feeling the need to apologize evolves over time. Because, right, I mean, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I know for me when I was, 15, when I was at a dance and wanted to ask a boy to dance or whatever, that was the worst time and I was so ashamed that I would stutter. And so I was afraid of it. And so my feelings about apologizing were much higher versus now in my 30s. I'm still self-conscious of it. But honestly, I think it's just it's like a trained habit or a learned habit. And so I like how you shared that, you know, at your age now, you're like, I'm going to unapologetically stutter, and you're going to call someone out when they finish your word. I think that's a great example of how that can change over our lives. So thank you for sharing and for being the brave first soul, because I know that's also scary. So thank you so much. I think Cody is our next person. So Cody, go for it.
Hello, everybody. Hello. So I just wanted to just make a comment. I think also a reason why we might apologize when stuttering is I feel like what society plays a major role with always rewarding I guess like fluency and always like effective communication or fast-paced communication um compared to somebody who takes longer to communicate their words. It's not as rewarded. And I also feel like with social media, I feel like that's played like a significant role. And I know that majority of us who are familiar with the TikToks and so forth, you know, they have, I guess, like they have like the notorious comments, you know, like, did she stutter or did he stutter? And it receives like 40,000 likes, which irks me. And so I feel like with just many of us, especially with a lot of the millennials like myself and Gen Zs, with just seeing that in general, like there's already like a negative connotation with society. And it, to me, it adds more pressure. And then if you experience like myself, if you specifically have family members, I stutter more specifically around my mom, unfortunately, or people I feel like who rush me or who have completed my sentences. And it's so frustrating. But I feel like at times those, and I don't really apologize. Mine is more like, please give me a moment. Um, but I can see where immediate family or like family members who are always rushing you, completing your sentences, or with society in general, with social media and so forth, with not rewarding disfluency. I feel like that plays a significant role also.
That is so good. Definitely. I also think like when other people give us permission, or me actually, like today I was stuttering a lot, and my supervisor was just like, we have to wait as long as it'll take. And that was like a a light bulb moment for me, because I forget that people are like waiting so patiently, because I'm trying so hard to like get the word out or like use a specific technique. And so uh uh can any what one re, re, relate on that? Sean?
Okay. Okay. In, so so I'll have to say in respect to in respect to being apologetic mm, about about speaking about this more or less speaking your mind out. I mean, I would have to say I would have to say the fact that in I think that I feel it is more or less because of like those of of like of the type of society that I mean that I've perhaps found my. I mean, I've I perhaps grew up around, so I would. I mean, so I would say that my parents are. My parents are. Come from the come from the baby boomer like from something like the baby boomer era, and my three older and I'm mean in in and like back when and like back and like back when they spoke, it wasn't really mean it wasn't I mean, it was probably like really early on compared to the time to the time that I really started to speak, and it was also coupled with the mm, with with the fact that I barely even started just like saying anything intelligible till at least 3 days after I must have turned 5, and so mm, so means so I've always felt like I've had to apologize just because that just because I would actually just because I would actually speak, and and in and I feel like I feel like mean like my mom especially would say things like 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 why are you taking so
Mhm.
wrong to actually say this, say that.
Mhm.
So it's like mean means so I've means so I've means so it's like almost something that is more or less mean mean that that I've felt like I've more or less needed to hide around my own parents.
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to others outside 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 outside, particularly whenever I would maybe talk to I would say a bus driver, I guess.
Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I that would that would like I mean that would that would probably be me more or less something of it.
Mhm.
I mean, or or more or less a more or less a retail clerk from from a from a from a deli, much more a Starbucks.
D d Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sean. That really means a lot. And when you were talking, I was thinking that like our family members could be a little bit, I feel like, especially my family, could be more impatient than the general public. And that's another question. Do you apologize uh, more to the people who are closest to you rather than the uh, strangers? But th- th- thank you so much. There was a lot of layers there.
Something,
Yeah.
sorry, Cora, something I'm gonna jump into. Sean, and I'm assuming I'm saying your name right. If not, you have a beautiful name, however it's said. Sean, something that you mentioned that I think highlights maybe where this need to apologize comes from is as young children, like again, I work with preschoolers and they do not apologize for what they have to say. Even if it's a swear word, they say it loud and proud that they want me to get out of their face with colorful language. Whether it's with a stutter or not. And I think that this idea that we have to hurry, we have to say it quick, we can't take up time is comes from like learned pattern or experiences. So like, I mean, for me, it was just spit it out. Like, just say it. Or you were speaking fine yesterday. Why can't you say your name today? Like things like that. And so it kind of overshadows or puts this negative light on stuttering, which then either we just avoid it altogether, right? We just don't talk, which is what, some happens to, unfortunately, to kids. And SLPs, we're gonna fight the fight to make sure that doesn't happen. Or we feel like we're so ashamed of it that we have to apologize for it. Sorry, Zoom keeps like moving, and so I'm like, where am I talking? Anyway, sorry. If you saw my eyes darting, I promise I'm fine. I have my Dr. Pepper, so we're good. I think Annabelle was our next hand. So Annabelle.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So if you can't hear me well, just let me know because I am driving. But so I would say for me, um, so um, so 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 I don't apologize for stuttering, but um, but when I get a big block, so like I lose confidence, and then and then my behavior becomes uh, apologetic. Be, be because so I see that when I block, so I hate being so I hate being in the silence. Be be because it's like so um uh, so I am thinking that I am wasting people's time. Um um, um that um that that no one will really pay will really pay attention to what I am saying. And then um so So like McKenzie said, that our traumatic experiences, with people saying, to just spit it out, to 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 like think before we speak, um uh, um so 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 those experiences, so they have shaped us, certain ways, that we try to avoid any of those situations, which 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 only which 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 only increases the fear.
Well said. Thank you so much for sharing that, Annabelle. I really like that you said your behavior is apologetic. I can definitely relate to that so much. I don't know if anybody else could, but like, because of my stutter, I feel like I'm just like an extra nice person. Like I'm always smiling, or I think I have the mindset of the un, un, underdog, even when I'm not speaking or stuttering my butt off. And I really think that that contributes to the apologetic mindset. Anybody else? Oh, I see. E e e e. She's pointing the other way. Who are you pointing to? Oh, Rev. Rev, you're up, Rev.
How are you doing? It's so good to be back. I was here some time ago, and unfortunately, my dad passed, and I have been doing elder care, and I was not able to join. But I want to say I learned something here that I started to use now, around this, because I still find myself apologizing. I am clergy, and I have was in an accident, so I did not grow up with a stutter. I had a medication, and side effects left me with this fluency. So I had to, learn how to adjust, and with speech therapy. And also for me, I have found when I was so exacerbated once, and then I just tried to pray. And when I just said, "Help me, Jesus, help me, Jesus," I realized I can whisper and there's no stammer. So my speech therapist says it's called voiceless sound, but I can't go around whispering everywhere. So, but what I have found has helped because everything is timed. You cannot not have a sermon. What they would say is your words should be eternal, but not everlasting, right?
I love
So
that.
that you should not be so long. So I found I feel like I take up too much time. I'm way wasting people's time. So I didn't want to speak at all. But Pamela is the one where I learned about this disclosure, and it has helped me tremendously because I would apologize and then try to whisper so I wouldn't offend. But now I say I will take up as much time and space until I get it out. Now, I have had to do funerals and other things where having a microphone helped. So I could whisper, but sometimes I cannot. And this closing has really helped to in that case. And then I've had to catch myself when I apologize. Say I will whisper, not because I would want to make you feel better, but because we cannot be here all Sunday morning. uh, so I haven't made those kinds of accommodations, right? But I find I apologizing is commonplace because I feel like I'm offending someone else. But my presence, and I always say my accident may have taken my fluency, but not my voice. So this is what I feel, even though sometimes you do, it just comes out to say, I'm so sorry, or, and then we will use one of the strategies to breathe and take my time, and then let it come out. But if I've been called to the space, then I would take up space.
Mhm. Oh my goodness, I was ready to start crying. I have two thoughts just from what you shared. Okay, three. Sorry, I'm doing it again, Pam. As we were meeting to talk about this, I apologized like 3 or 4 times to them. They're like, and Pam's like, "Why are you apologizing?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then we talked about it and I figured it out. But um I first off, I just want to share that I mean, I'm not clergy like you, but I am active in my church and I have to do like speaking over the pulpit at the podium a lot. And there are many times when I've thought, well, I don't like we have 1 hour, that's how long the meeting is or whatever. And what I have been reminded that you spoke about beautifully is that what matters is what we share, not how we share it. So the words that we share, whether that's, in a church setting, at a school board meeting, in a conversation with a friend, whatever that looks like, what matters is what's on our heart. And we as people that stutter have experienced a not fun side of life at times, and we've had to struggle through some things. And that has given us a lot of compassion and hope and love for other people in those difficult moments. And we can share that with our voice, just as you said. So I would just wanted to share that because you said it beautifully, but I just wanted to reiterate that I think is kind of honestly the whole reason why we wanted to have this conversation was it doesn't matter how we share it, but that we share it and that we don't apologize for how it comes out of our mouth. I'm going to add a little add-on question for people to think about, and then we'll go to Elizabeth. But you mentioned disclosure. And I know for myself, when I started or when I do use disclosure up until the NSA conference this past July, I would say I'm McKenzie and I stutter. I'm sorry if I take up too much time. I would apologize in my disclosure. And I saw a few faces like, no, why are you doing that? And that's just how, it was first explained to me. Or I guess like that was the example that I was given. And I'm an SLP, right? You'd think that I would know better. But I didn't. And at the NSA conference, I was able to have some great conversations of how to change that disclosure statement. So I guess it was more of a comment just for people to think about of what could that disclosure statement look like differently if the words or your disclosure does include some type of apology. Maybe what are some ways that we could change that so that we're not apologizing when we are disclosing. So that I'm just gonna into the universe. Elizabeth, go for it.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. So I wanted to specifically say thank you to Annabelle. Honey, where have you actually been all of my life? Because I just kind of had sort of a epiphany about my speech that also can equate to my actionable behaviors when I'm having like a moment. But I thought that was so insightful what you said. But I guess for me and what almost everybody here who has opened up about their own journeys with stuttering, I guess I also have a similar path. For me, it sort of began at home and then it kind of eased out into school and then into society and then even into my wallet. How so? So I feel like the other day my therapist asked me to kind of think about why I'm having a hard time with my speech and why sometimes I don't seem to like myself. And I guess I do, but the part about sometimes my stutter is what often I ask myself, if I didn't have this, who would I be? And then I also said that consumer culture often convinces us we can buy our way out 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 of pain. And that's something that I saw my dad and also my mom do. My father did have a stutter, but he didn't ever want to reveal it. And how he hit it was by consumer culture, and he just would always look good, and he just always seemed like he had it all actually together. And that's kind of been how my sisters and I have always been as well, where we just always have to look good on the outside. But I think I've kind of decided, like, I really want to do some inner work, and I want to let that go. And I'm starting to un I'm starting to unlearn how not to apologize. Sometimes I do have to catch myself, and like, for instance, earlier today, I was at an event, and in there, I actually openly said that I have a stutter, and I didn't even actually bat an eyelid, because I said I am hitting 40, so I should know this already. So it took me like 40 years to learn this. And so there's been a lot of things about myself, consumer culture, my family, society. Now it's social media. And I think it's time for all of us to just kind of say, I think in enough is enough, and we are super people. We are, how I often call it in my NSA meetings, we are Stevas and Stevos. So we are stutter divas and stutter divos. So we're Stevas and Stevos. So so if you would like to use that, go ahead and use it. Say, I'm a Steva, honey. And then you do your little thumb and finger.
That is so cute.
Holla back, y'all.
I love it. Elizabeth, yeah, Travis is right. You are the best. Also, I just want to say that Elizabeth is a chapter leader. So if you live in, where do you live?
I live on the East Coast, and I live in the tiny state of Maryland, but it is
Oh yeah, Maryland.
expensive up in here.
If
So I might have to move possibly next door. Wait, no, that's also expensive too. So hell no. I don't
if
even
you
know. But
if if you live in Maryland or around there, you should definitely check out her chapter. That's awesome. Th- thank you, Liz. Mandy, you're up, girl.
Oh, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for you all sharing and for our lovely host tonight. It's just, I saw the title, and I just couldn't help think of my journey with apologizing around stuttering, and just to reflect and have a moment of grief, I think it is, to realize that I was never afforded, just like many of us, were never afforded an adult or a space that, at least I wasn't. I can speak for myself for sure. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I never had an adult to help give me words such as, empowering self-disclosure or a neutral disclosure statement. And I found the apology just out of survival, like, along with the shame and the guilt and the stigma and the self-stigma, and my home, the reaction that my parents would give me when I stuttered, or when my teachers, my classmates, my speech therapists, because I had a really kind speech therapist who was very friendly, but she just wanted fluency from me. And so when I couldn't do that, it was, something I'm doing wrong here. I'm sorry, right? I'm taking up too much time. But I just think how tragic. And then I actually went on to be a speech therapist McKenzie, Cora. And never in grad school was I ever taught to help clients come up with self-disclosure statements. And this was 20 years ago. That tells you how old I am, 40 Club. Um, but but just how grateful I am now in this world that we are living in this moment for stuttering, affirming spaces, places, NSA's part in that, and all our amazing leaders in NSA, and just to have language, to like have it out there and have people out there providing that, is just life changing. And I think my bones, my body, like that apology, it knows it too well. My body knows it too well. And I know it'll always be a part of me, but I'm also glad to like bring it home and establish new relationship with that, with my voice out in the world, and to reclaim it and to provide more of that. Yep, I'm Mandy. I'm a person who stutters. Sometimes I repeat sounds, words. If you have any, it's helpful if you give me the time to speak. And then it's like that reclaiming and that power, and then it's like honoring, yeah, this is just me. What a lot of you are saying, like you are allowed to take up space. And so yeah, just that how life-changing a self-disclosure statement was for me, that turning point of no more sorries. Yeah, oh, goodbye, sorry. All right, I'll get in the back. Kind of like, thank you for all your service, all those years of helping me survive and get through this world in a way I never knew. But now I know better. I'm gonna do better. So yeah.
Thanks, Mandy. And you brought up a really good point that I had made a little note. I was like, this is something I want to make sure we mention or talk about. That right, I think now in this moment in time, we can all say, oh, we don't like that we apologize or that we have apologized, but giving ourselves grace of, I apologized so that I could get through life, so that I could survive and not be eaten by the wolves on the playground, right? And something that we'll in about 5-10 minutes, we'll kind of switch gears into how can we maybe shift away from apologizing. But something that I wanted just to kind of bring up really briefly is that there, I'm going to say this and maybe you're like, nah, but it was just a thought I had that there is a positive side of the apology to ourselves, and that's having grace for ourselves. Saying, I'm sorry that I felt that that's how I had to survive, but I'm also trying to survive, and I'm going to have grace for myself in that space of I'm doing the best I can. And that's what I'm not going to get emotional. I'm doing the best I can right now, and that's what I'm going to worry about. And no, if I didn't stutter the way I wanted to, and I did avoid the word, who cares? I said what I needed to in that moment. And in that moment, that's what my body could handle. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then we can look forward with hope and with grace and say, how can I change this so that I feel more comfortable? But also allowing ourselves to exist and just be like, I'm still human, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to at times avoid and feel shame. But how can I move forward with grace as well? Something that we had kind of mentioned earlier, or that in my conversation with Pam and Cora, was do apologies always look like an I'm sorry? And I'm going to share a very quick experience because again, I want to get your juices flowing with all the thoughts. But as an SLP, I have to do a lot of IEPs. I work in the school setting, and there's a part of the IEP process where I have to say the word communication, which you can, I'm sure, guess is my favorite word to say all day. And I have found myself in my 6-7 years of being an SLP, I avoid that word like it's the plague. I will, talk around it. I'll, explain it any other way other than saying the word. And as I thought about it, that was in and of itself, I'm saying I'm sorry to myself because I don't want to say that word. And so those apologies can even look like an avoidance for us, right? It's not something that anyone else sees, but it's something that's happening in here. And we're still giving that power to, I don't want to do this. I'm avoiding it. And again, having grace with that, but then how can we move forward with that? So again, just another into the universe. Okay, I think Annabelle was next. So Annabelle.
Um, so like, I wanted to piggyback on what Elizabeth, said prior regarding, like, not liking herself and not liking her stutter. Because it's like, for me, it's like, for the past couple of weeks, so, um, so, so, so I have been in a slump in which, I have been like having the 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 victim the victim mentality, uh, that everything in my life is going wrong because I stutter. And then that and then that and then that and then that my life is not great because I, because I stutter, and I feel that and I feel that it, and I feel that it is easier for me to think about everything bad about myself than to try to find one good thing. And then because of that, so I feel like I am constantly apologizing to myself for um for for, for the choices I made in my life, when 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 I, I I did not know any better, but from what you said, McKenzie, so it is that we made we made the choices that we could. We um we didn't have the support needed.
Mhm.
And then, so I am realizing that I have to start to forgive um, my childhood self and my teen self, and like even my 20s self for um uh, f- for not for not for not knowing that you didn't have to like avoid certain conversations, that you didn't allow yourself to take opportunities um 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 uh, that could have been great for you, and that um and, and that and that and that I and that I I allowed fear to rule my life, and that and that and that I need to give grace to myself for doing for doing the best for doing the best that I could do at the time.
Well said, Annabelle. Hey, Annabelle, you rock. You are amazing. I know that all of us resonated with everything you said, like so good. Uh, thank you so much for sharing. And just so you know, you are not the only one. We are all right there with you. So that was extremely comforting to hear. Uh, thank you. Um, Cody, you're up.
Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to say that I can relate to what to what majority of you guys have been saying, and especially to Annabelle, can definitely relate to that. Then and then to McKenzie, I just want to say to you, McKenzie, girl, I could definitely relate when you talked about the communication word. My degree, I've had so much trauma. I would say specifically with saying communication. And it's ironic because that's my degree. It wasn't deliberate initially. And I remember initially I was a marketing major, and my father had suggested communications right during COVID had happened because I was having so many challenges, specifically with my accounting class. And I kept thinking, how am I going to say, because when you're in college, everybody's asking you the first question, like, what's your major? What's your major? And I'm like, how am I going to say communications? And I get stuck at especially if he's cute or. And so I've had to kind of like retrain my brain. Even the day I got my degree, I was so terrified of people asking me, and it might sound silly, but I remember I was so terrified of people asking me, oh, like, what did you get your degree in? Because I've struggled so much with like the cum word. And I know majority of it has been self-sabotage of what just feeding myself just negative stuff, like, oh, I can't say it, or just feeling tense and stuff. So it's like I've been trying to rewire my brain and just to rewire to feed myself positive thoughts, because it's been really hard. It's gotten better, but I just been trying to remember to just take up space and to disclose, but when it's time to say communicate, which I say a lot, and things in general, I just really try to slow it down. And if I stutter, I say I've been trying to say, just give me just one moment, please, and then I'll try to say it again. And this, if it's very severe, I'll disclose that, hey, I'm a person who stutters. So I just wanted to say that I was definitely able to just relate to you, McKenzie, to what you said completely, because it was that specific word you said kind of triggered me too, and then to what Annabelle had said. And my stepfather stutters also, and he is a former Marine recruiter, and he stutters also. So he wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you guys. I'm 58 years old, and like I tell my baby girl, no matter what, hey, just say what you're gonna say, and they just gotta wait on me. That's what I tell you. Just gotta wait on me, and I'm gonna get what I gotta say out. So God has a way. He has a way of being funny too sometimes, because I like to talk, but I stutter. So it is what it is. God bless y'all. Have a good night.
Yeah, I was gonna say snaps
Thank
for
you,
both.
guys.
Yeah, snaps for both. I need a snapping reaction on Zoom. Whoever, if Zoom is listening to this call, I need a snapping Zoom and a reaction. Clap, but snaps are more, I don't know. Snaps just feel like more fun. Cody, oh man, I'm sure we can all think of a word that like we have a small amount of PTSD with, of like, oh, that word, oh, that word left the human race. I would be fine with that. But oh, and there was something I was gonna say, and then your dad, just that like strong Marine voice. I was like, I feel like I need to go do push-ups or something. Um, but oh, biscuits, what was it? Ah, oh, I remember when you had talked about rewiring our brain. I think that is such a good visual of, and I think this is true with any type of pattern or habit that we, that we're wanting to change or address or, amplify in some regard. Because again, I do think this idea that we apologize is a very ingrained habit. It's something that we feel like we have to apologize because of past experiences. And how we have to change that is we have to change our pattern, right? We have to feed our brain something else. And that takes conscious effort. It's not, I wake up one day and decide I'm never going to apologize again. It takes time. And again, I think through that process, having grace, having kindness and compassion for ourselves as we're going through that process is hard, but also very rewarding at the end. Okay, I think Elizabeth is next. So Elizabeth.
Thank you very much, McKenzie. I just always enjoy listening to you because you just have so much to share, and you have a lot of wise words. And again, to Annabelle, he is my girl now. So Annabelle, I was writing in my journal the other day, and I said, actually, this is about my speech, and I hope that this helps. I hope this helps everybody out, because this space is it is a healing space in here. So I said, there is no glory except right through my story. Pain is not tragic. Pain is magic. Suffering is tragic. Suffering is what happens when I avoid my pain and I consequently miss my, and I consequently miss my becoming. So, we all seem to rush to our resurrection, but yet we haven't even been crucified yet. So it's like I have to put myself aside, and I have to put this victim mentality away. And I also have to understand that it is not always about me, and it isn't always about my pain. But again, I think that's how I just actually coped. That's how I survived. And how I'm starting to let it go is just starting to tell other people about my story. And I'm hanging, so to speak, up at the cross, and I really just want to forgive myself, and I also want to forgive my family, because they too were also washed by society. And for anybody that actually needs to hear this, you are a Steva and a Stevo, okay? So please make that a hashtag, okay?
We love it.
Because I really want to see it on social media. I don't really know how to use social media that well. I'm sort of actually learning. So once I do, y'all know I will be up in that joint, girl. Hell, and all, and also boys, I'm sorry. Yeah, so
That's cute.
holla back, y'all.
I love it. I love it. OMG, that's great. Thank you for sharing, Elizabeth. Andrea?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea. It's nice to meet everybody, and thank you so much for sharing your stories. And I would just like to say that when I was younger, I let fear overtake everything. And even though I had a speech therapist, which I felt like she really didn't know me. And I think sometimes people don't get to know us and understand us. They just see the stutter. And I had to realize that I'm not the stutter. I'm Andrea. I'm an educator. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a grandmother. I am not my stutter. And I think once I did that, and also because I worked in a school and I had to public speak. So I had to either hide or stand up and speak my beautiful, courageous, clear, competent, confident voice, no matter how it sounded. And I had to also not let the audience be my demise, because I would also always think they weren't listening to me, they weren't interested. My voice skips a beat, my rhythm is not like theirs. And I hid behind that. And I'm just at a point in my life, I'm giving myself grace. I am accepting who I am. And also, another thing that has been pushing me is I started back again with the American Institute of Stuttering, and that's where I met, oh God, I'm blanking on her name. She just spoke too.
Annabelle, I'm right here.
Annabelle, yes, Annabelle. That's where I met Annabelle, and she introduced me to so many different groups. And I said at my meeting last Tuesday, I think it was, that I'm on a team with two other people who don't stutter. And I was so afraid to always speak because I felt like people listen to them more. And again, I am giving myself grace and I don't care because my voice needs to be heard. Because if my voice is not heard, then I'm not in the room. And how am I going to push my teachers and my students to do their best if I'm not pushing myself to do my best? So I appreciate everybody who has shared their story tonight, because you are my tribe. You are the people who give us what we need to stand up in that room and to sit at that table and have a voice. I'm going to have to leave because I have a parent situation with a student. But Annabelle, thank you so much for inviting me and for pushing me to be at my best always. And I want all of you in this room to always be at your best, to always understand that the stutter is not you. You have a name and you have value and you matter each and every day. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Andrea, thank you so much for sharing. You brought up some things I'm going to mention, but I know you have to go. So have a great night, and
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, guys. Again, I was told we it's okay if we go a little bit over, a little bit under, but I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. So we've been talking a lot about why we apologize, how we apologize, the impact it has. And we've kind of like skirted around how do we rewire, or how do we maybe live more authentically ourselves and not feel that need to apologize. So I've been kind of keeping some notes, and me and Cora had kind of talked about a couple of ideas that we had of like, well, what's maybe a healthy coping mechanism when we feel that need to apologize, or we are coming against that. Oh, I'm taking up too much time. Oh, I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling ashamed, whatever. So I'm just gonna say a few of them, but if anyone has any thoughts about maybe how, and again, I know some people have already mentioned things that how they do this, but I just kind of want to throw it back out there into the universe. I think a part of combating the feel or the need to apologize, which Andrea kind of mentioned a couple of these, is finding ourselves. And I'm going to say maybe a cliche phrase, but loving ourselves, right? If we love something, we want to respect it. We want to give it time. We want to nourish it. And if we love who we are, if we cherish who we are, then we're not going to let anyone step on it. We're not going to let anyone do anything to it that is, unkind or rude. And we are deserving of the space, right? That word has been mentioned a couple of times tonight, of we are deserving of space. And your voice, what you have to share and say, that deserves to be in the world. And that starts from us being, I'm important enough because I know that I'm important enough, and I'm going to share it. I think coming back or fighting ignorance. So I think, there's been so many wonderful, someone wonderful in this room, just shared a comment about how if someone, I think it was whoever was saying the word Arizona. I don't know who that was, but whoever said Arizona, Arnetta, just how you came back and you're like, I'm going to say the word. It's Arizona. Back up off me, kind of thing. And that takes courage. That takes confidence and courage to come back and say, no, I'm going to say the word how I say it, and you're just going to have to wait. And I think a part of that is again finding ourselves and having the courage to say, I'm going to own my space. And then one that which again has been sprinkled through, but Pamela had mentioned earlier in our conversation, is humor, right? Someone in their disclosure statement kind of hinted at that too. And I think that's a really healthy way of like showing. I think it was Annabelle that said like that her body language, and I resonated with this as well, that our body language can kind of give off the impression that we're feeling sorry for it. But if we're leaning in with humor, then it tells our listener, okay, this isn't a big deal. This is just how they talk. And they don't care. They're just going to say what they have to say. So then I'm not going to care about it. I'm not going to put any negative energy towards it. So I said those, and I tried to not take as much time because I don't want this to be like I'm going to talk all the time. Oh, someone raised their hand. Samuel, share with us your thoughts, please. Thank you.
Hi. So that is a great point. So I would say just on my side, I think what helps me is like, I try to have a positive outlook of other people, right? So it is sometimes we do get negative responses, and what we have been discussing in our support group is that it, 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 maybe maybe the person is surprised, right? So that is what we have been discussing, to try to have feelings of grace and hope and stuff. And I think that has been helping me, and also like we all have our bad days. I think like kind of relying on relying on your friends and community like what we have here would help us a lot. Yeah.
Uh, Thank you so much sharing, Samuel. You read my mind. Like the stuttering community is so im- important. Real quick before we jump to Lindsay and then Sean, I just want to say, McKenzie, I never even thought of like giving giving grace to our listener. Like, so amazing, you know. I feel like it's easier to give grace to our listener than give grace to our selves. So well said. Uh, Li- Li- Lindsay, you're up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that um I liked what everyone has said so far, and um um I tried to raise my hand earlier, but it for some reason Zoom was being annoying and wasn't letting me, because I was thinking of like what I was gonna say earlier was like that I also noticed my behavior when I feel bad for like taking up a lot of time. um like I don't like to talk much after that, like after the moment um um of blocking. um I I don't know, it's hard to feel like, oh, like like it's okay that I talk this way. um and I have those days where, like, more now, so often, I'm not sure why, like through after um speech therapy, like I'm still having those days where I'm like, well, like, I can't take a long time because whatever, um um like X, Y, and Z. I just I like what Annabelle was saying earlier about that whole thing, and that resonated with me a lot. So yeah.
Uh, Thank you so much for sharing, Li- Lindsay. Um, I just want to say, like, the stuttering community is so good, and just to keep on coming b- 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 back is sometimes um what what uh what sometimes what our soul really needs. So that's good.
Oh, Cora, we're both gonna be balling over here in a second. Um, Lindsay, I want to make one really quick comment, and then we'll go to Sean. Um, I think something that, and this was very what's the word I'm looking for, evident to me at the conference, and something that I had been thinking about a lot is Yes, and I mean, I know there's a few of us here that are SLPs or work in the field. We would love to say that all SLPs are understanding and supportive of a holistic approach to stuttering therapy, but that's just not true. It's just not the case, unfortunately, yet. Someday, hopefully, we'll get there. Um, and I think what is so amazing about groups like this, right, the NSA in general, but then also providing support to people that stutter to also be the change to their SLP. And I'm going to say this, any SLP worth their salt should be listening to their clients and knowing what their preference is. And if you me I'm going to say this, and I don't think I'll get in trouble. But if you come across an SLP that is not willing to shift your treatment plan based on your preference, go somewhere else. Because therapy is what you want it to be and not what an SLP thinks it should be. Um, and I'm just gonna leave that little bow because I feel very strongly about that. My speech therapy growing up was I was cured at age 8, and you don't stutter anymore. Ta-da! And here we are. So I if yes, there are a lot of things that I want you to. Oh yes, yes, speech language pathologist. Sorry, Jane. Um, so anyways, I just wanted to share that. And I think, Lindsay, you had kind of mentioned that, maybe an experience with an SLP wasn't a positive experience. And I understand that. And I'm sure a lot of people in this room do as well. And so we can also be a place to give grace to an SLP because unfortunately, not a lot of programs have a great class that talks about stuttering in a way that is um what's a word that is helpful in the long term aspect of things. But again, run if they're not willing to change, run away. So heard it here first, right? Or maybe not. Anyways, sorry. See, I'm apologizing again. Guys, see, rewiring, it's a thing. Sean, go for it.
Okay, so like, I mean, so, like when, so that was like, like the what now as far as the way that I would maybe like, that I've maybe to tried to want to like rethink, like trying to apologize would be concerned. I think, I mean, I mean, I mean, I think that I've more or less just trying to say whatever I would say the gremlin of it all would the gremlin of it all would 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 be out of like out of my I guess hard hard could be. And mean I and I would actually and I would actually say that in and I would say that it would say that say that I have say that I was and I was and I've probably had 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 like tons on have had tons on record on the line just like just like hang up on me, and I would probably just know it just to note down like what actually happened and all. I mean, but then, I mean, but that was while I was still in housing, uh, in housing, but that was while I was still in housing, in housing, in housing, certain. Now, since how I took how and also recently took the exam for being in housing person, I would probably I mean I would more than likely face the same exact hmm, hmm, the same exact thing. Like if I happen to back come come back to the housing authority being in housing uh being in housing like being in housing assistance and all but honestly being 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 being, being but honestly I I've been been I've I probably feel like I have maybe quite a few a few a few a few a few turns that have been completely that have been honest to God completely understanding of like of the gravity of the situation in regards to my speech.
Sean, I really appreciate you sharing, and I mean, kind of just to everyone. I know that this topic can be very personal, and so we really appreciate you sharing your thoughts. We have we're kind of near the end of our time, so I see there's one more hand up, and then if there's anyone else that hasn't had an opportunity yet to share something that you'd like to share, please raise your hand because we want to make sure that anyone that has something that you want to share that we hold space and allow each other to hold space for each other. Oh, I'm gonna say your name and it's gonna be wrong, and I apologize in advance. Shh. Sohal? Sohal. Hey, okay. It's all you, sir.
Okay, I am Suhail Gibran from Pakistan. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to express myself. I think problem starts when we are kids. Parents don't know what is happening in our mind when we go to school or meet other people. Eh, I mean, they don't know the quantity of tension, depression we start to pile up from the early childhood, and we keep on piling up uh, until we know about the problem and its details and its solution. By that time, our personality stands fully developed, and we have to live with all the tension, embarrassment, and the feelings of shame, etc. So I request that if we can do something that the parents are needed to be taught, that they should be our initial supportive community. They should support us. So I think if they support and if they know about the problem and its solution, then half of the problem, rather more than half of the problem will stand solved. And now, as we are grown up, okay, we always find solutions for a better life with regard to stuttering, and we most of the time we get the solution. Where there is a will, there is a way. But I think that there are two types of stutterers. One type is who do not care about it. They stutter, they enjoy their life, and and some of them are very successful. My elder brother is also a stutterer. He cannot utter a single sentence, but he doesn't care about it. He speaks wherever he wants, and he never goes for therapy, and he is very successful in his profession where a lot of speech is required. So uh, who and we people, we say that we should not care about it, but unconsciously we do care about it. Who don't care, they will not come to this group. They are happy. They say this is normal. God has made us in such a way. So the reality is, whosoever comes here or whosoever try to improve his speech, his or her speech, I mean, uh, that individual is uh, worried about it. This is a reality. So we should also try to improve our speech. I mean, therapy, or we can, whatever method it is, I mean, suitable to us. Yes, rewiring of brain. I mean, all psychological aspects are equally important, and such groups, such a supportive community, is very useful for rewiring of brain, and I mean to improve upon our speech and quality of life. Thank you, McKenzie.
Yes, I really appreciate your comments, and you hit it on the head really. Of I think these things start from childhood, and a part of, honestly, again, oh, actually you weren't here at the beginning, I don't think. So I work with preschoolers, and so when I have a student that stutters, the first thing I start with is parent education, so that we try not to have that student have all of that built up negative baggage that comes with stuttering, because you're right, it creates and causes a lot of the issues that we then have to try and undo as we get older. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your experiences. I kind of want to do a last call. I mean, it's not a bar, but is there like a last call for anyone that has anything that you'd like to share? I feel like an auction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sold. I'm gonna share something quick, and then Cora, if you want to kind of share a final thought, if you'd like. I just again want to say thank you for everyone for being on tonight and sharing your thoughts and experiences. And I know I have learned a lot just from. Oh, Jane, I'm gonna stop talking. Jane, it's all you.
Thank you for letting me speak, but this is my first time, and so I just wanted to say hello to everyone, and I'm glad I came on because I'm just enlightened with just this short time. So I hope that this is not my last time joining, but I do believe that God has a purpose for every one of us. So I just like to just say I'm glad I came on. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm very enlightened and very encouraged.
Well, Jane, we're so happy you're here. And I will say this too, because I know you came on near the end. The whole session is being recorded, and it will be available online in the next couple of days. So if you want to go back and listen to the whole thing, you're welcome to. And there's lots of other videos on there too. But yes, I'm so glad you found it and that you were able to be on tonight. But yeah, I just kind of want to share kind of like my final thought is, I know that like apologizing for a lot of us is an ingrained thing, but we can choose how we want to live with our stutter. And that, you know, that takes courage, that can take a lot of things, but this is a place where we can find that drive, that courage, and that support in that process. I'm gonna pass the mic to Cora.
I love it. I just want to say that I'm so glad that we were all a part of this. And if this is your first time coming to an NSA Connect, just make sure to keep on signing up for the next ones because they are absolutely amazing. So we hope to see you guys at the next one.
And I would just like to add, thank you, McKenzie and Cora, for facilitating this wonderful session tonight. We appreciate you, and I'd like to let you all know that we are having another NSA Connect session on Tuesday, September 30th, called Regrets, What We Didn't Do Because of Stuttering. And I think that that is going to be also a great conversation. So please do look for that and sign up for that. And again, thank you. We'll see you all soon.